Hello, everybody. Am I audible to all of you? A quick audio check. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hi.
Yes, sir.
I guess in the last, how many of you were in there in the last session? I guess few of you were there, but I actually mistakenly said that the next demo session will be on Sunday. So I guess you might be expecting a session tomorrow, but we have it today itself. I wasn't sure about it. No worries. Uh, Let me just share out my screen back. No, we do not have a session tomorrow. We're gonna start the batch maybe from the next week or the next to next week. Let's see. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Is it?
Yes.
Perfect. Just give me a second. Let me pop out a few items. So before we start with the session today, do we have any questions before the session hand? Just give me a second, guys. Huh? Is there any background noise you guys are hearing out?
Not no background noise.
Oh, it's okay now? Okay. In that case, it works. So in the last session, we discussed about what is why is specifically Python, why not Java, like what is this? We compared both the programming languages. We understood like which one is important, which one is not, like that. And we also worked on different properties of Python. We understand how to install Python, and how we understood how to install an integrated development environment, Pycharm, which we're going to use here. We also understood how what is a virtual environment, what is an importance of a virtual environment in the system. All these details we understood in the last session. Correct. In today's session, we will be working a bit more on the coding side. Like we will be starting along with the uh, Python variables. Like we're gonna start with Python scratch from very basic to the level where it is needed for this programming for this specific section session. Sorry. Once we're done with the programming language, we'll be kickstarting with the Selenium language, maybe 78 classes down the line. You never know. So in this specific demo, I'll be showing you a bit about what is Selenium, how do we install it, how do we inspect out elements, and what are the different types of locators we have in the market, and so on. So before we move ahead, do we have any more questions to be taken up? I would be very happy to answer. And the only rule, everybody, I hope know that the only rule here out is that you have to be very, very, very interactive. That's it. Okay, so I got a question. It will be 9 a.m., right? So yeah, the session we are planning is for 9 a.m. itself, but we have an overlapping session next week, which is going to end at 10. So maybe for 1 week or two, we might have a session at 10 a.m. IST, but post that we will be shifting the sessions back to 9 a.m. IST because we got multiple queries from multiple people for the same. Okay, so yeah, perfect. Any more questions before we start with the demo 2 today?
No.
This session is going to be completely in the Mac system, Mac OS system. Just to confirm the same, those who were not in the previous session, We have multiple previous recorded videos in you know, in other programming in Windows operating system. This time we're gonna make it in the Mac operating system, and maybe in the next time we'll be working on the Linux system when the next course starts up. So today let's try and understand about the very basic, like I hope installation, installing Python, and let me try and enhance the size. Installing Python, let's just, and then installing Pycharm. These two things are very, very clear to each other, all of you. If not, we can take a quick look. Just go to our website, simply write download Python. Open the very first website, which is python.org. The latest Python version in the market currently is Python 3.10.6. So depending upon the operating system which we are using, we can download it for Windows, Linux, or Mac. So we already have the Mac version, so I have it in my system already. So I'm going to use the same. In case if somebody wants to work on a previous version, like 3.9, 3.8, or 3. You know, some other releases, they can always go ahead and take the builds from the given link itself. Once you're done with this, you can go ahead and download Pycharm. This is the IDE which we are going to use for the same. So it has two versions. It has a professional version. It has a community version. So the version which we are going to work on is the community version as of now, because it is free to use. Click on the download button. It says it starts download automatically. Since I already have it downloaded, I'm not going to work it again. One thing to notice, this specific thing will be automatically selected. If you're working on Mac OS, if you're on the Windows, it will download the Windows thing. If you're on the Linux, it will download the Linux thing. So you have to select your operating system accordingly. Okay. So the steps are very easy. You have to just click on install next, 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 and that's it. For Windows user, there is one extra step. Those who are going to work on the Windows system, the extra step is while downloading, I'll say while installing either Python or Pycharm, checkbox, check the checkbox saying add this to path. That's it. So there will be one checkbox when you're going to install and install the software in your system. It will be simply saying that add this to path. So you need to do the same for Linux and the Mac users. You do not need to perform this additional step. It automatically happens. Okay. Post this, let's try and understand. I hope virtual environment was clear to everybody. This is how Pycharm looks like. So here we have this virtual environment is specific to this Pycharm. And in this virtual environment, we are going to have all the libraries installed. Whatever we have inside this bin, inside this live, you see I have 3.8 with me installed, so it shows Python 3.8. Whatever new libraries I'm going to install here, they will be added in this library package itself. How do we add it? We're going to use the pip command. I'll show you ahead how do we use it. So in this, we have a terminal. In this, we have a terminal. In the last session, we discussed to download, just a second. Yeah. In the last session, we discussed to download any library, we use the pip command. To download any library, we use the pip command. Pip stands for Python package index. I repeat, Python package index. This is a non-GUI command which we use to download any library or any package from which we use the functions going ahead. So what is the command we use? We use pip install, and that's it, the library name. Library name. If you want to install a specific version of any In any library, you can always write pip install hyphen version, or yeah, hyphen version, and then give the version number. And the library name. So we have all these different types of commands which we execute. Where to execute these commands? The question is where to execute these commands. So we can always execute these commands inside the terminal of the project. Inside the terminal of the project. Terminal is this. So if you open your Pycharm, if you simply create a new project, how to create a new project? Go to File, New Project, type the name of your project. It will automatically create a virtual environment for you and click on Create. That's it. Once you are done, a similar kind of UI will open up for you as well. So here we are at the terminal. I'll be simply writing pip install. Suppose I want to install Selenium, so I'll write Selenium. Now you must be wondering, Ashish, you have not given here the latest version number. So which version will this specific query will download? So by default, it will download to the latest version available in the market. The moment I hit enter, it says I'm collecting Selenium, downloading Selenium. It performed multiple downloads. And yeah, you see downloading Selenium, latest version is 4.4.3. The other libraries which are required for working Selenium, it downloaded these, and that's it. Now, Selenium 4 is available for me in this project inside this virtual environment. Inside this virtual environment. Now, this project is able to use the virtual Selenium libraries for any functions. But in case if I create a new project, this Selenium will not work there. Why? Because we downloaded it locally to the project. We have not downloaded it globally. Now you must be wondering, Ashish, what if I want to download something globally? So to do that, you need to just simply go to the terminal of your command prompt screen, which we have in Windows or terminal in Mac or Linux. Write the same command, pip install Selenium. And the moment you hit enter on this, Selenium latest version will be installed globally. You are not needed to add any library externally, but this is least preferred because we do not want any interdependency of projects. Like any project is failing due to the global issues. So we install these libraries separately inside our virtual environments only. Is it clear to everybody till now? Any
Yes, yes.
questions?
This is clear. So in a command prompt, you are not using the command prompt, right? So directly we install in a terminal for the
Yeah,
locally, right?
correct.
Okay.
But you must be wondering, Ashish, this is the non-UI way. There must be other way around where we can download it. Yes, you simply go to File, Pycharm File. Inside this, if you go to Settings, can anybody see? I am actually pretty much new here. Mm, I've not used this previously, Mac system, but I am as same as you are. Hmm. So in Mac system, it's called preferences, but in Windows, you go to your Pycharm, go to File, you see Settings section. If you click on the Settings section, the similar kind of UI opens up. Go to your project, go to Project Python Interpreter. That's it. This is my project name. Inside this, I am saying I'm going to Python Interpreter. Here, there's a click plus button. The moment you click on this plus button, search for the library. It has thousands of libraries available itself with it. Whichever you want. I want Selenium. Type it. Now Selenium also it shows you multiple libraries. One you want. I want the topmost. If I search for Selenium, yeah, I need this library. I select it, click on install package, installation starts, installed successfully. That's it. Close it, and here you see your package has been added with what version you are having and what is the latest version in the market. Okay. So this is how you can add any library in the GUI way. Understood?
Yes, yes.
Cool. So now let's start. Let's start with a very basic thing. I'll create a very basic Python file. Just a minute. So click on the project, right? Click on new, and you see a Python file. So I do one thing. I'll create a directory. I'll say demo. That's it. Directory is just a folder. Inside this, I'm going to create a new Python file, day 2, second demo, or we can say demo 2. .py is the extension. I'll show you how Git also works. It will help you to understand the how are we going to work ahead in the sessions. Okay. Let me just change the font size as well. Editor. Inside this, you can go to I say
Font
yeah,
inside edit
inside
font.
general, go to
Font.
font, and here I'll increase it to 16. That should work. So to add, the very first thing, to add any comments in any programming language, we have different ways. Some programming languages support double slashes. Some programming languages support a hashtag. Some programming languages support @. So we have multiple ways of adding comments inside any programming language. This have you started recording? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Yeah, we
recording.
did.
Yeah. Sorry. So to add a comment inside the Python file, we write a hashtag. So I'll say this is a comment. That's it. Now, how many of you know what is a variable? I want to understand.
Variable is just store the value.
Hmm. Any more thoughts? Or we
Variable
say,
have a
I'll change it.
validation. Validation is always a start with a character.
I'll say, what is an identifier? Tell me this. We'll come to variable later. What is an identifier, guys? Anybody who has experience in any programming language, you might be knowing. It's okay being correct or be it incorrect, but what is an identifier? Any thoughts?
Actually, identifier is a name for any container or something else.
Okay. Anything else?
No idea.
Okay, no problem. We say that try and understand the, you know, what exactly I want to say. Any name which identifies a variable, class slash a class name slash, those who do not know what a class name is, do not worry. Or we say objects, or we say, what all do we have? If you remember, we have classes, we have objects, we have functions, and we have labels. I'll write it. Let's try and understand it in a very, very basic way. How, okay, everybody have a kitchen in their home. In the kitchen, there is always a container. That container contains something. Now there can be multiple containers in the kitchen. Multiple containers carry one item or two items or multiple items. How do you identify a specific pulse? If I talk about, if I want that, hey, go and select salt. So how will you identify salt? You'll not, you if you know about salt, okay, leave it. But how a 5-year student or a 3-year student, if a third class student or a fifth class student is told that, hey, go and bring salt from kitchen, what will be the process? He or she will go and he will say, search for where is salt written, select it and use it, right? That is the way we use salt. Similar way we work here. Any name which is given to a container, any name which is given to a container which contains a value is called a variable. Simple. I'll repeat. Any name which is given to a container which contains a value is called variable. For example, we all know that we have a very, very big memory location. Suppose I'm not able to draw, I do not have my drawing utensils, my drawing kit right now. So if I say, just a minute. This is the shelf I'm talking about. In this shelf, you have these memory blocks, right? I'll copy this. Mm, and so on. This is a memory block, this is a memory block, and we have, millions of small memory blocks inside my memory. Now, each and everything will be given a memory address. So suppose if I talk about this specific block, this block I call it as block A. So A is given a memory address as something something 1 2 A, B, any hexadecimal address. Then we have something else. This is storing a value 10. Now if I go and say, hey, go and identify me what is stored at, where is 10 stored? How will you identify? You will not be memorizing this memory location again and again. Try to understand what I'm trying to explain here. You will not go and memorize memory location for each and every value stored in the memory cell. If I say go and recognize 10, you'll not reply it is stored at 121 AB. If I say go and locate 100, it might be stored at somewhere else. So like this, you cannot remember each and every memory location. So to create a link between remembering the memory location and to access the value inside that memory location, we name that specific block. So this 10, this complete block, we name it something. We name it, like suppose we name it amount of a specific reasonable name, understanding name. So we say amount 10. So this amount is actually nothing. It is so what is this link happening? This 121 AB is now named as amount, which has a value 10. Simple. So this is how a variable works. Like any value, any name which is given to point a value in a container Any name which is used to access a value inside a container is called a variable. Now, there are few rules and regulations which we need to follow. So if I give you an example, I say amount equals to 10. And if I want to print it, I'll say print the amount. That's it. You can execute it like this. It says something has gone wrong. Can't open this file. I need to change this thing to current file. That's it. Run it. And what it says, it prints you the number 10. Now you must be wondering, Ashish, in the last session you said that the Python is a dynamic type of language. It does not needs data types. Now, how will we verify that this 10 is an integer data stored at location amount? So to do that, we are simple. We say print the type of data stored on the variable amount. That's it. We are saying go and print the type of data stored in the variable amount. What it shows? It stores the data type of integer automatically. Nowhere we said it's an integer, but it automatically identifies it as an integer at runtime. That is the power of using a dynamically typed language as compared to a static language. In other programming languages like Java, you need to explicitly tell the type of the data which you are going to use here. But in this case, it's not needed.
If you are writing the 10.5, is automatically referred to the float.
Let's verify that. If we say 10.5, let's run this. What it says float. You just change the data set and it automatically identifies it at the runtime. If I say I enter my name, Ashish, now I execute it again. It stays it's of type string. Let's try and give a Boolean number, Boolean value. I'll say true with a capital T. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah, so sorry. So if you say, if you say I'm giving a type of the data as Boolean type of data, I simply execute it. It says it's of Boolean type.
And Ashish, if you will write Ashish without double quote, what the output will be?
It's not allowed. It simply raises you an error out here. It says name error Ashish is not defined. Now you must be wondering that, hey, what is this? Amount also you write in the same way. Then why is it not allowing Ashish in the same way? You have not added double quotes in amount. Then why are you adding double quotes when you're talking Ashish? So we'll come to that. But before coming to that, let's understand the variables part. A variable I'm saying is any name, but it has specific rules and regulations to be followed. Rule number 1, the name of the variable always, or I'll say can start with either A to capital Z, small a to Z, or an underscore. That's it. It cannot start with digits, or I'll not write this. It's understandable that variable name cannot start with a digit or a special character. It can always start with either a capital A to Z or a small a to Z or an underscore. So let's try to validate this statement. If I say 3 amount, and I want to print the same. Let's run it. What it says, boss, it is a syntax error. It is an invalid syntax. Why? Because as per rule number 1, we cannot start a variable name with a digit. Let's try and give a special character. I'll say percentage. If I try to execute it now, again it raises me the same error saying it's a invalid syntax. I cannot run it because it is starting with a special character. Perfect, agreed. If I start it with an underscore, I'll add an underscore here because we are using it at different places. Now I run it. You know, it executes flawlessly. It prints you the amount 10. It prints you that it's of class integer. So the statement is very, very valid that the name of the variable can start with either A to Z, or I underscore. So what is rule number 2? Rule number 2 says digits, which is 0 to 9, can be added after the first letter. It says after the first letter, you are always welcome to add any type of digits, whatever you want to. If I say 1, will it work after the first letter? I execute it. Yeah, it works fine. So this rule also satisfies the same. Next, we say that variables are case sensitive in nature. When you say case sensitive, it simply means underscore amount and underscore amount equals to 20 are two completely different things. If you run it, it only executes this one. If I try and print the second one, I'll say print underscore amount. 10 and 20, two different things printed separately. So that's it. What I'm trying to say here is variables are case sensitive in nature. Another important point to be taken care is please provide meaningful variable names. Please provide meaningful variable names. Like if I'm adding some salary, provide the variable name as salary. If you're adding a name, provide the variable name as name. But always try and give some, meaningful variable name. And the last rule says is no special character is allowed except an underscore. Like in except an underscore, no other special characters are completely allowed while you are defining a variable name. Clear? Any questions to anybody till here?
Okay.
Anybody? Is it clear to others?
Yes, Ashish.
Yes,
Clear.
I
Ashish.
believe most of you might be already knowing it, but since we're going to start it from scratch, so please, try and just brush up your skills with these things if you already know these. Yeah. Next, we talk about data types. We'll discuss about data types, each and every individual data type in detail when we are going to kickstart with our lectures. But right now, I'm going to give you a gist about the different types of data which we have in data types which you have in Python. Let's start. I say the first one is integers, or I'll say numbers. Inside the numbers category, you have just a second. So instead of doing it like this, I can also add, I'll show you a shortcut, triple strings. Simple. Triple strings allows you to add whatever data in the types of comment if you want to add a multi-line comments. So now I write whatever I write, it's inside a multi-line comments, data types. The first data type I'm talking about is numbers. Inside numbers, the first is integers. Second, we all know is float. Third is complex. If we come outside, we have the second type of data as strings. We have third type of data as lists. We have dictionaries. We have tuples. We have set. These are the major types of data types which we have. I'll say Boolean also. These are the major types of different types of data which we have in Python. Each one of them is very unique in nature. Each one of them have their own properties as compared to other programming languages. I'll show you a small gist about all of these things just to have an idea. We'll be discussing all of them one by one in detail moving ahead. So let's talk about integers. Integers, as I mentioned, if I say integer as a variable name, let's give any value. I say 100, or let's try and give a value which is a very big value. I'll say 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. Now I just go and print integer, and let's also try to print the type of the value which we are using here, just to be sure that we are correct. If I execute it, you see it prints with the exact same thing. So this is a property in Python specifically, that it has no boundaries to the type of the to the value of the data. In other programming languages like Java, you have a limited boundary that from this minus this to positive this, only you can add integers. But Python says if you have space in your memory, I have no problem in computing the statement for you. The only bar is the space in your memory. That's it. So that is a very, very unique thing which integers allows us. Even if you try and add a negative number here, a minus sign, if I execute it again back, it shows you still it is of type integer with a negative sign. So be it a positive value or be it a negative value, you can always use integers directly in this form. If we talk about float, I'll say floating. I add a number 2.56 blah blah blah. Let's do the same thing, print floating, print type of the same. I'll save it, I run it. You see this is this time printing you that, hey boss, this is of type float, this is the data. So floating point numbers are nothing but the numbers with a decimal point in it. The numbers with a decimal point in it. We'll discuss each one of them individually. Let's talk about complex numbers. So what are complex numbers? Complex numbers are the numbers which have an imaginary part and which have a real part. So here if I say 3 plus 5i or 5j, that's it. You go, you print complex number, and you print the type of complex number. If you run the program now, you see it shows you that, hey, it's 3 plus 5j, and the class, the type of the data which it has is called complex. So it automatically identifies the same for you at runtime. You do not need to do it explicitly at all. That is the main agenda goal I'm trying to set here. Now, when you talk about strings, I'll say character. So strings can be given in two different forms. To give a string or a character, you always need to use quotations. When I say quotation, it can be single quotes. I say this is a single quoted string. Now I'll say print character and print the type of character. Save and run. You see it prints the same way. This is a single quoted string. Inside a string, so what is a string? I'm again and again repeatedly saying the word string. String is nothing but a collection of characters or alphabets or digits together. It's more kind of a thing called alphanumeric. I can also write something here. This is alpha numeric. It means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm adding digits here. These digits are also treated as strings, means as characters only. Now, just a trick question. I'll not even a trick question. I'll ask you a simple question. Let's say that give me the answer of print 10 plus 10. What will be the output for line number 48, guys? According to you.
20.
Okay. Others?
10, 10.
Others? Okay. Just write it in the chat box one time, guys. Whatever you feel the answer should be for line number 48. Okay. And also tell me the output for line number 49. Print 10 plus 10. So, Shashi, you are doing the opposite. So what is happening? Let me run it. What is the output? The output is 10, 10, and 20. How? 10 here is what? It is inside a single quotation. Since it is inside a single quotation, it will not be treated as digits. It will be treated as character. Any random any character. That's it. Now you cannot add, if somebody says, if I write a sentence like this, print, I'll say Ashish ASH plus Garg. Now, what I'm trying to do here, I'm just trying to concatenate two strings. I'm trying to add, this will not arithmetically add it, correct? It will just join these two together. It will just join them together. So if you're trying to perform a addition operation inside a string, it does what? It joins the characters. But at line number 50, what is happening? We are using direct numbers. We are using direct integers. So when we are using direct integers, it adds them up. Okay. It performs at the expected output. Correct? Is that clear to everybody? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Now, if I say character 2. So one way of using a string is a single quotation. Another way of using a string is double quotation. So this is a double quoted string. That's it. I'll go and I'll say print me character 2, print me the type of character 2. You save it, you run it. You see, again it shows that it is a string. Now, there must be again a type of a trick question here. Now I want to print something like, I want to print this sentence. I say, I want to print this sentence. Hey, my name is Ashish. I want to print this sentence. How will I do this? Let's try that. Name equals to double quotations I'm using. Hey, my name is ASH. What happened now? If I try to print name, what will happen? What happened? It says invalid syntax. It says invalid syntax. Why? Because for this specific line, the string starts from this quotation and it ends on this quotation. So the first quotation was the starting mark, that from here whatever you find till the next quotation mark will be treated as a string. So it starts it from here, it ends it from here. After that, it does not know anything. That's why it says invalid syntax. Now, what I want the program to do, I want the program to skip this character. I want that instead of using it in its original form, in its functional form, use it in the original form. That's it. So for to do that, I used a backslash. Backslash does what? Backslash skips the functionality of this character. Backslash does what? It skips the functionality. What was the functionality? Functionality was to end the uh, end the sequence of characters to be treated as string. So it skips that specific function and it treats it as a basic string character only. Now if I run it, it prints the exact same thing. Hey, my name is Ashish. Understood? This is called escape sequences. This is called escape sequences. Is it clear to everybody? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, but we using a double quote, right? We
Hmm.
cannot use the single quote as the same thing.
We can, if I mark it as, so let's work on it. I'll say name2 equals to, hey, my name is Abhinav. Now this time you see it has not raised any kind of error. Why? Because we have used the single character
Single
to
quoted
start.
string.
We have used the single quoted string to start, and we are using the single quoted string to end. So whatever comes in between is treated as a string, as treated as characters. So if you execute this, it will not erase the error. Let's try to do the opposite. Name3. I'm using double quotes. Hey, my name is, now single quotes. Let's write Abhishek. Print name3. You run it, it works perfectly. Why? Because you started from a double quotation, you ended on a double quotation. In between, anything works as a character, nothing else. But when
Oh.
you start with double quotations and you want that specific character to escape, this is the way we do it. Okay,
Okay.
Ashish, I have a question.
go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I'm little bit confused between a character with double quoted string and a string.
Which one? Can you tell me the line numbers?
Yeah, actually, you explained character via two methods. Let's say the
Hmm.
single quoted string and double quoted string.
Hmm.
So, what's the difference between
No
the
difference. These
uh,
are the same things. Same thing. You can do it in two different ways. That's it.
okay, a character with double quoted string and only a normal string, both are same.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, okay.
Use a single character, use a double character,
Hmm.
both are same thing. It's just two different ways of doing it. So you treat it as the, since why are we saying only these? Because double quoted in these double quoted quotes are also two in, like they're a pair, single are also a pair. So one is used to start the line and one is used to end it. So you use
Okay,
any of them, they will work the same way. No difference.
okay. And the data type of both character and
Will
string
be
is
string.
string. Okay,
Correct.
okay, okay.
Clear?
Yes, yes, very clear.
Perfect. So this is a basic idea of what the data type strings are. Next, we have a very interesting data types called list. I'll say list of fruits. I want to create a list of fruits. It starts and ends with square brackets. Inside it, I can write as much data as I want. Uh, am I audible, guys?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Yes, yes. Pretty
Vipin,
clear.
you are saying no sound, even my network coverage is good. I guess I'm audible to other students here. I think you should try it one at your end. I'm audible, guys, right?
Yes, yes,
Clearly?
Yeah, yeah.
yes. It's a very
Yes,
good.
Ashish, we can hear you fine.
Okay, okay, perfect. So Bharat, try, sorry, Vipin, try it at your one end one time. Try to just disconnect and connect once back. So coming back, what is a list character? A list character, a list data type. A list data type is a collection of different types of data together. A collection of different types of data together. List of fruits. I'm saying apple, comma, mango. It can be at any length. If I say print list of fruits and I say print the type of this variable, let's see what happens. You can clearly see it prints to the list exactly, and it says the type of the data is list. Now you must be wondering, Ashish, you said it a list is a collection of different types of data. Let's try that out. List with different data. Again, square brackets, integer, 2.4 is a floating point number. Ashish is a string, 5 plus 3j is a complex number. True is a Boolean value. Yeah, we have kind of different types of data. And if I print list with different set of data, and let's print the type also of this, let's run it. What it says, it again says list, and you say it prints the complete list as it is. List is a very, very powerful data structure of Python. We will have a very detailed lecture of list, tuples, dictionaries, sets. These are very four important pillars, data structures of the programming Python language. But if you're in, if you feel it like it easy, it is easy. It's very easy to just understand the concept, what it has. That's it. You can even add a list inside a list. I say this is a new list. I'll write apple. Let's add colors, red. Let adds numbers, 12, something like that. Now when I run it, you see it's a list inside a list. The data type is still a list. So a list is a kind of a data structure which have different types of data collected in one section. Simple. Clear to everybody what is a list? Yes, no, maybe?
Yep.
All
Yes,
of you.
yes, yes.
Perfect. The same way, like we have different more data structures. Let's talk about dictionary. Dictionaries are normally presented in terms of, these curly braces. You need a key and a value. So how do you see a dictionary, normal dictionary? It has a name, it has a meaning. The same thing happens here. So I'll say um, salary of the user is 1000, comma, next set of data. We show it, just a second. Yeah. Then let's say we talk about name of the employee. I add Ashish. That's it. So a dictionary is a type of a data which has a set of key and a value pair inside it. If you come down, if you print dictionary dot keys, you can print all the keys. If you say print dictionary dot values, it prints you all the values. Let's run it. So you see the dictionary keys are salary and name. The dictionary values are 1000 and Ashish. So a dictionary is a very, very powerful data structure again, which we will be learning in detail going ahead. Set and tuples are the same thing of list and dictionary, but with a very, very small modification. We'll come to that later. And Boolean is true or false. So as a high level thing, I just wanted to explain you that this is how we are going to work together towards the forward classes. The pace will be slow. I will be taking each and every student from base to the level required, irrespective of who's to which student knows what in the class already. Will still work on it. So this is one section. Let's start with the other section. Let me create a new file again, and we'll call it Selenium Demo. Now, so we already downloaded Selenium with us. How do we did it? We simply have executed pip install Selenium. Just a second, guys. Yeah, sorry. So Selenium. What Selenium will be doing? Selenium is a tool which used to automate the web-based application. We are going to use this website for automating all the things. So it has different types of sections with it. Suppose if you want to automate something with the dragging functionality. So we'll automate how do we drag something like this. How do we drag something? Suppose you want to, automate the drop functionality. We'll learn how do we drop something like that. Suppose you want to learn how do we resize a box using Selenium. If I want to resize it some any position, how do we do that? We'll again learn it with Selenium. And there are, if you go to this website of video automation, there are multiple items. If you say a very common functionality of date picker, Ashish, I want to select a date of suppose to 2011 and 7th. How do we do that? We'll learn that as well. Similarly, we have different types of if you work on different tabs, how will I switch from this to this tab, to the first tab, to the second tab, to the fourth tab? And in case if you have a new browser open, Ashish, how do we automate, switch from this browser to back to the parent browser, things like that. These are very important scenarios. Ashish, in case what happens to the alerts which we have, how do we handle alerts? How do we handle input alerts? So these are the things which we are going to work as a live project in this specific scenario using the help of Selenium. Let's try to do one thing. Let's try and automate this thing as a demo thing initially, and then we'll move ahead. Coming back, we installed Selenium, right? So after installing Selenium, so Selenium, you guys must have heard about few things. There is something called Selenium. Inside this, there is something called WebDriver. There is something called WebDriver. This WebDriver is nothing but in a very layman language, we call it as the browser. In the very layman language, we call it as the browser on which my programming language, or sorry, on which the Selenium code will work. That is called as a WebDriver normally. WebDriver has, you can say it is a super set of different types of browsers from which we want to select one. Now, how do we do that? If I come back to the code, I say from Selenium. Selenium is the thing which we downloaded. I want to import what? I want to import WebDriver. WebDriver, as I said, is a superset. WebDriver is a. I'll come to the question, Amrendra, in the end, like after 10 minutes. WebDriver is the superset. So after doing this, I'll simply say WebDriver dot. The moment you write dot, you have different types of browsers available with you. If you want to work on Chrome, you select Chrome. If you want to work on Firefox, you select Firefox. If you want to work on Edge, you select Edge. If you want to work on Safari, you select Safari. If you want to work on Android, let me show it also have an option for iOS, I believe Internet Edge. So you select IE. And for iOS also we need to do it a different way, but it gives an option to if you go to remote dot I'll tell that later, that how do we do it in APM. We need to set some dependencies and all these things. It's not there inside it right now. So suppose I right now want to work on the Chrome browser. So I simply selected webdriver.chrome. I'll store this in a variable. Let's call this variable as browser. I'm saying the browser I'm selecting here is Chrome browser. Now, next step, I'll simply say boss in the browser dot get. Get is the URL, which URL you want to work on. I'm saying go and open this website inside the Chrome browser. Simple statements. Go and open this website in the Chrome browser and maximize the window. Let's try to understand if this 4 lines of code works for us or not. So what should happen here now? Everybody, what do you understand after reading line number 3, 4, and 5?
Chrome browser will open this website with maximize the window.
Correct. Others?
Yeah.
Same? Let's try and
Uh,
execute this.
It actually initialize the browser first, and then it will populate the web page, and it will maximize the browser, the last line.
Correct. You see, it raised a error. It raised an error saying no such file or directory found called Chrome driver. So now what is this? What happens if you want to work on Chrome? You need to download the set of, you need to download a specific browser which works with Selenium. That application is called Chrome driver. If you want to work on Firefox, you need to download a special browser for that which supports Selenium, which is called Gecko driver. Driver here you can take it as the the name of the browser itself. So similarly, we have multiple. Now, where to get it from, Ashish? If you again scroll back down, it says that Chrome driver executable needs to be in the path. It says that I do not have Chrome driver with me. So where can I get it from? It gives you a link. You open that link. It says all the versions are available in downloads. So before going to downloads, you need to check which Chrome browser are you working on. Go here, go to help, about Google Chrome. So I am using the version 104.0. The latest version is 1045, but I want this one. So I click here. It gives you an option to download the Linux, Mac, or which one you want. I want the Mac one. Let's download it. It's downloaded. Let me just unzip it. I'll unzip it quickly. So it is a executable file. I will do what? I'll copy this file I'll share, not share. Mm, 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 mm. I'll say copy Chrome driver. I'll go to my code inside this virtual environment. Now, inside this bin, I'll paste it. That's it. I pasted this Chrome driver inside my bin itself. That no need to give the path again and again. Just go and take the Chrome driver from the project itself. Let's try to execute it again. You see, this time there is no error. A browser opens, it goes to the website, and it maximizes the window. Perfect. I repeat, if you click again, it opens the browser, goes to the website, and maximizes it. This is the end goal obtained from these 3 lines. Is it clear to everybody? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, yes.
All of you, those who are very much new to programming languages, those who are very much new to Selenium. How many of you are very much new to Selenium?
Me,
So is it clear to you guys, Bharat and all? Are you able to understand it? Utkarsh? Others know Selenium already?
yes, Ashish.
Yes, Ashish.
Good.
Little bit I know, but not that.
Great, great. Perfect. So this is one way, like this is a way we perform things. Now, the next question comes, Ashish, okay, this is perfect, clear, understood. I I'll automate this complete thing once we start it. But before doing it, we will be understanding how do we send data, how do we inspect elements out of it, so how what is this hovering element if you select, what are the different techniques, what are the different types of locators which we use. If I say different types of locators, different types of CSS ways, different types of XPath ways, all these things, then we'll like there is a complete curriculum which has Rahul shared the curriculum with all of you guys?
No.
Okay, no problem.
No.
We have a very good curriculum created. He will be sharing it with you all of you guys very soon, maybe after the demo session today. So I'm coming back to the question, what types of frameworks are we going to cover? We are going to cover BDD framework, we are going to cover robot framework, uh, and then we are going to cover page object model, which is an important one. We will be covering data driven model, or say data driven framework. These are the major 4 part of the frameworks which we are going to cover. We talk about reporting, we are going to cover Allure reporting. A very important thing, the testing framework. The testing framework which we are going to cover is the PyTest framework. PyTest framework, it is a very powerful framework. Powerful framework when compared with TestNG or other JUnit frameworks available in the market. So we are going to understand PyTest fixtures. It has a lot of capabilities inside it. Along with it, we will also understand, mobile automation a bit, like mobile automation with iOS as well as with Android. We'll schedule 1 or 2 lectures on the same. We are going to, automate the complete way to automation website. Yes, when we talk about mobile automation, we are talking about APM basics. We are going to automate the complete website. Then along with it, all the code will be on GitHub repository only. We are going also at the end of the day, we are going to add everything in Jenkins. So we have Jenkins also, HTTPS local host colon 8080. If I enter, let me, it's not S, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, you see I have Jenkins installed. So in this Jenkins machine, how do we integrate it with GitHub project? After integrating it with the GitHub project, how do we execute our test cases on Jenkins? After executing the test cases on Jenkins, what is the next step? So all these kinds of things we are going to learn in the Selenium section. We are going to learn the logging framework, how do we log items into it. Then we are going to learn exception handling, a very important item in the same. How do we handle different types of exceptions which comes up, and these highlights. So yep, I believe once you get the curriculum, you guys can check it out from the same, like what more we have in the system. Python, we are going to cover all the things from basics to scratch to basics to advanced. Yeah, any questions regarding the class anyone have? Please feel free to ask right away, right now.
Is the all are used for the testing?
Sorry.
Is all what we are writing here in Selenium Python? Is all are using in the testing?
Yeah, we all use it in testing. Different types of requirements from different types of clients. Suppose one clients need a test case written in BDD framework, we use BDD. If somebody needs another, we use another. In robot framework, I will be covering basics, not a complete in detail, because robot framework is a syllabus in itself. It has multiple things. We will be understanding basics of robot framework only. POM, data object model, and BDD we will do in detail, but robot framework we will do a very basic level of understanding. These are all tools only, Magesh. Any tool specifically you want me to consider for this session, let me know.
Okay.
So yeah, similarly, we have all these things we will be going to cover. It will be almost 2 months or 3 months down the line the course will be, but we are not going to time box it depending upon the way we are going to learn things. We can take it up to our need. It can be 3.5 months also, it can be 2.5 months also, depending on the pace we are working in it. Okay. It will be a session on Saturdays and Sundays. Initially, we are going to start it from 10 a.m. Timings will confirm once the enrollments are done. And then we'll shift the timings, maybe 9 a.m. IST going ahead. It will be a 1.5 hours lecture. We'll create a WhatsApp group. Whatever queries you have, you can always go ahead there and ask the queries. Any questions, anybody?
So Ashish, so the next class will be at 9 a.m. IST.
No, 10. For 1 week, it is 10. From the next week, it will be 9. Like if I talk about here, so from 3rd and 4th of September, it will be from 10 a.m. and from 10th and 11th of September, it will be at 9 onwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We do not have any class tomorrow. It is a demo, so that's why. We will be deciding upon the timings. Rahul will be the best person. You can forward all your queries regarding timings to Rahul. he will decide accordingly.
Yeah, but the best time is 8 a.m. IST.
Yeah, that also works out for me. I have no problem in that as well. Just forward your queries to the Rahul. He is the correct person to decide the timings of the batches. So cannot do much into it, but if your queries are for 8 a.m., the more votes are, he'll schedule it for 8 a.m. Okay. Session duration will be 1.5 hours. Excellent explanation. Thank you. Any more regards? Yeah, thanks a lot, Saikaran. In case if you guys want to give any feedback, I'm always welcome. If you want me to to change the way I teach, I don't have my actually the drawing utility today. Otherwise, I would have tried to make it more interactive. I have shifted recently to Bangalore, so I am still in the process. So I to get my things from my hometown. So yeah, by 1 or 2 lectures, it should be perfect. I will be using back my drawing kit. So yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for your patience. We'll connect in the next week. Where am I staying? So are you also from Bangalore, Vipin? Or nearby?
I am from now in Bangalore.
Sorry.
I am from Nagpur, but I am working in Bangalore.
Okay, okay. So where are you staying? No worries. I stay near. Oh, you stay in Marathali? Perfect. I was staying in Marathali earlier, but now I am in Kalyan Nagar. So how many of you guys are from a corporate? Working in a corporate? Mm-hmm. Perfect, perfect. So yeah, good to see this. Thanks a lot, guys. In case of any questions, any doubts, feel free to drop text to Rahul. He will be definitely getting it to me, and I'll be happy to answer it. Once we start, I will be added in the WhatsApp group as well. You guys can always drop your queries there, and I'll be happy to answer it.
Thanks, Ashish.
Yep. Thank you. Bye bye.